What can you tell me about the Pembroke?
Well, it has always been an honor to work with Dr. Swansea. But with your arrival, I can't think of a better opportunity to learn about blood transfusion.
Alright. This guy's fucking weirding me out, dude. I'm gonna have to kill him too, I think.
I'm convinced that this epidemic is a test of endurance and dedication for us men of science.
Questions remain about our capacity to resolve the situation.
True. Last summer, during the first wave of the epidemic, I used to joke with Milton about the extra work. We're not smiling now.
Do you need my help?
Do you need help with anything in particular?
Well, yes, maybe. I'm waiting for a batch of products I ordered for my personal research, yet my supplier seems to have vanished.
Oh, these are all like weird side quests, I see.
Oh no, Dr. Reed. But if you went personally to his shop, what with your reputation and all, he wouldn't dare to refuse the products I need.
I see. Well, give me the address, for I may pass by if I have time.
Okay.
What do you think of Dr. Ackroyd's aversion to modern medical methods?
It's a shame he's so narrow-minded. Dr. Swansea taught me that science is about exploring uncharted territory. I'm convinced that's true.
With the influenza and all that's going on, you should put your differences aside, don't you think? Why is it so difficult to work together?
I believe that if Dr. Ackroyd had been the one to discover the transfusion process, he would be the first to recommend its use.
So you believe it's just a question of jealousy and pride?
Dr. Ackroyd is as proud as he is blinded by his
We're
obsolete
fucking
concept of
dying.
medical science.
Pretty fucked.
Tell me more about your willingness to experiment with new medical techniques.
Harvey Fiddick is a patient suffering from a severe injury that could cripple him if not treated correctly. I'm convinced your blood transfusion technique could help him.
What is it you really want? To save him, or to prove your point?
Fair question. I want nothing but to save my patient, Dr. Reed. Especially since I know Mr. Fiddick's story.
Tell me Mr. Fiddick's story.
Our first diagnosis was compromised because Mr. Fiddick lied to us about the real origin of his injury. He first claimed it was an accident.
But why would he hide such crucial information from us?
Because he is a proud father, ashamed of putting his children at risk because of his own negligence.
This personal involvement could also appear to be a lack of impartiality.
Oh shit, dude.
You must know that a good surgeon must remain neutral.
I agree. But that does not excuse Dr. Ackroyd's behavior. A man who did not even take time to converse with his patient.
Do you think keeping his distance was a mistake?
All I know is that I'm taking care of human beings with desires, hopes, and fears. Not some biological machine comprised of blood, bones, and flesh.
Okay.
Goodbye, Dr. Strickland.
Okay, I guess we'll go back to that one guy. At least we'll try it, dude.
Good evening, Mr. Fiddick.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
What the fuck is going on, dude?
My operation?
Tell me about your injury, Harvey. Why do you feel so
It's really
guilty
fucked
about
up.
it?
My wife
Oh, gee,
died
what the
because of
fuck?
me. And now I may lose everything because I've been careless enough to hurt myself. What an arsehole.
How could your job be responsible for your wife's death?
I was working a double. She went out to bring me a hot meal and got caught in a German bomb raid.
Oh my fucking god.
You can't hold yourself responsible for your injury, Mr. Fiddick. Unless you tried to hurt yourself.
Of course I didn't hurt myself. But I can't work until my arm is fixed. My children need to eat, Doctor.
Tell me more about the death of your wife, Harvey.
1915. I was in the army. Building workshops for the Royal Flying Corps. Helen was happy I wasn't sent to the front.
What happened?
The Germans sent Zeppelins to bomb the construction site, but they missed their target. My wife was bringing my dinner when the bombs fell.
I'm sorry for your loss. So many died during the bombings. I served in France and witnessed the carnage there.
I would like to say that she didn't suffer. Truth is, I have no idea. I just know that I'm all that me kids have. Poor little bleeders.
British people are so fucking weird, dude.
How are your children after losing their mother?
They were smaller then.
God, that guy's fucking moaning so loud, dude.
Didn't bring them with her that night.
Yeah, no doubt. It's pretty fucked up.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Fiddick. I'll see you later.
He's fucking like moaning really aggressively, dude. You? Is that you, dude? Weird retard man, dude.
I'm Dr. Reed. Can I help at all?
No,
Really? Why are you here then?
I don't want to talk. My throat hurts too much.
I suppose that this pain is the reason you're here. Is someone taking care of you?
Yes. And no.
Could you at least tell me your name, sir?
Mortimer.
You
Mortimer.
have a
Gosling.
neck brace on, dude? He has fatigue. He's gonna die, dude.
How painful is your throat, Mr. Goswick?
So painful, I'd rather not talk at all, Doctor.
I'm sure you realize a doctor and his patient have to communicate, sir. Would it help if I gave you some paper and a pen?
Not really.
I see. Then maybe it's not just your throat that hurts, Mr. Goswick. Perhaps your sore throat is just the consequence of something more hurtful.
Yes, maybe. But I don't want to talk or even write about it now.
This guy's really reserved.
Mr. Goswick.
I don't want to talk, Doctor.
Interesting.
I have to go now.
This guy's very reserved, dude.
Don't hesitate
He's
to
very
contact me if you need any help.
Good evening, sir. Doctor.
Why'd you just fucking call me over, dude? Who the hell are you? Weird bitch.
Good evening, madam. Can I help you?
It's my son who needs you, sir.
I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Where is
How
your
can I
son?
help your son?
I'm Beatrice Goswick, mother of
Oh,
Mortimer
okay.
Goswick. Could you check on him, please, Dr. Reed? I've heard much of your talent.
Why is your son so fucking old? Why are you here?
What can you tell me about yourself, Mrs. Goswick?
Not much to say. Just take care of my Mortimer and I'll cover all the expenses. That's all that matters.
Okay.
Are you really that rich? Most of the patients here are of a more humble origin, if I may say so.
Yes. Thanks to my husband. May he rest in peace. I can cover any needed medical expenses.
May I ask if you have an occupation, Mrs. Goswick?
I'm a teacher by profession. I teach young women who are more ambitious about their futures than their families.
Okay. This bitch is kind of a cunt. Like, straight up.
What do you think of your reception here? Any complaints?
I have had the uttermost reservations about this hospital
Okay.
since we arrived. But we had no other choice, considering the state of emergency.
Is there something in particular that's bothering you?
Some of the staff were not especially welcoming. I suspect they're not accustomed to dealing with patients of such social standing.
Okay.
Tell me more about your arrival at the Pembroke Hospital. What gave you such a bad first impression?
The ambulance driver was quite rude, for a start. And that nurse, Miss Hawkins, seems to have quite a dubious attitude.
What do you mean?
She managed to secure a bed for my son despite the epidemic. It was a relief, but it wasn't cheap.
She charged.
She charged you for a bed?
Yes, and I paid without question. considering
That's
the
fucking
urgency of the
greasy,
situation.
dude.
I share your concern, Mrs. Goswick. Be sure that I'll talk to the people involved.
I don't expect compensation, Dr. Reed. But I'm aware such behavior would not be tolerated in other hospitals.
Oh, no problem, dude. Don't worry.
Goodbye, Mrs. Goswick.
That's pretty fucked up, first of all.
My sweet girl.
Okay. Anyone else around who I haven't talked to yet? Maybe. You're fucked.
Good evening, Nurse Hawkins.
Good evening, Dr. Reed.
Okay. I can't use that for,
How would you describe the situation
no.
at hospital?
It's serious. The flu is wreaking havoc amongst the staff and patients. We are running out of everything.
Goodbye, Nurse Hawkins.
There's someone else, apparently. Way over there, if we can get to him.
I cannot enter. Good evening, Mr. Hampton.
Oh man.
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Your life in London.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities...
People are still in despair, dude.
Contagious nightmare. No drugs,
Pretty
no
fucked up.
advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
Okay, that's fair.
What is the general situation in the East End, Docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the Dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Booth Digby.
Does the gang be...
Interesting.
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Interesting. Interesting indeed.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the
You're a
cross
Catholic
around
priest, dude.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path.
Not what I
to
expected.
our
Are you a priest?
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Interesting.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.